Iran just threatened USA and Donald Trump right after Trump attacked Iran's 3 nuclear sites. And right after that, right after the threat, Trump threatened Iran again. They said if they do anything again to America or to the base, to the USA base, he will go hard on them. Because that was nothing. He will actually go hard, his full force on them. But we all know Iran's not going to stop. Because they said it previously and multiple times. They will not stop. They're going to keep on going. And they said nothing will stop them. And there's about like 40,000 US soldiers in the base over there. So that's Iran's target. They can target them easy. People in USA do not want that to happen. Because if that happens, oh buddy, we may not even see tomorrow, man. Is there a button where we could skip to like 2028 or something? Because this is getting out of hand.
War's coming. Get ready. May or may not get hit with an EMP, so having some food on deck might not be a bad idea. Start making contingency plans and meetup spots for your family if shit hits the fan and nobody can communicate with each other. Make sure you guys have a designated spot where everybody can link up. If you don't know what a bug out bag is, research it, get you one, keep it in your car. Make sure your house is in order and you're ready to bunker down for 3 to 6 months, because if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. When everybody's out there fighting, these grocery stores only carry 3 days worth of food items for a whole community. So within the first 3 days, your grocery store is going to be completely wiped out. Make sure that you don't have to go out there and fight for your life as you fight for food. Trust absolutely nobody. Nobody is going to protect your loved ones like you are going to protect your loved ones. When it comes down to feeding other people's families, they will do what they have to do to feed theirs just as much as you're going to do what you have to do to feed yours. Buckle up.
This is no longer breaking news. By now, you should know what exactly is happening. But the real question is that I have, did Israel President Netanyahu, which I call Yahoo like the drink, did he play President Trump in getting the U.S. involved? Because this is not going to be a one-time mission. This will have to be an ongoing situation. And a lot of U.S. military, they're going to lose their lives in this. We have a lot of bases set up that are exposed. 2 weeks ago, they started evacuating. I did a story on that. Evacuating non-essential troops and their families from that area, because they knew that this was going to escalate to where it is now. And now you drop BOMBs and you say, let there be peace. Let there not be any retaliation, is what you're telling Iran. But if there is retaliation, we're going to take out some more sites. But let there be peace. Well, peace is not going to be still, y'all, because Iran will not sit back and allow this bullying, is what they're calling it, which Trump is calling it bullying as well. So the Middle East bullies. You ever seen a bully bully a bully? It happens. If you think about it, it happens. But Iran has issued a warning to Americans, and the U.S. citizens will feel what is about to happen.
We're going to be able to beat Iran? So many.
Now, We don't know how they're going to retaliate. They have many ways they could do so. But when you attack Iran, by proxy, you're attacking Russia, you're attacking China, you're attacking Africa. We're on an island alone at this point, because France has already come out and say, hey, we had nothing to do with this, because see, they don't want the smoke. They don't want that smoke. So the person who started the Ukraine war, Putin, has now come out and said that U.S. was unjustified and they will help Iran. What is that?
So it was not Iran, but the US who betrayed diplomacy. They betrayed negotiations. When at the middle of negotiations with us, they green light to Israelis, if not instructed them to attack Iran's nuclear facilities. I think they have proved that they are not men of diplomacy, and they only understand the language of threat and force. And this is very unfortunate. The United States showed that they have no respect to United Nations Charter. They have no respect to international law. They have no respect to any international law regarding managing the world and facing challenges of the world. There is no red line that they have not crossed. And the last one, and the most dangerous one, was happened only last night.
Wow, the US just boomed Iran nuclear facilities. I never imagined that this is how much Israel has influence and power over US politics. Remember Trump? He used to criticize the war in Afghanistan, in Iraq. He came with momentum to stop the war in Gaza, to make peace between Ukraine and Russia. He was dreaming about Nobel Prize, and then this happened. He changed 180 degrees to please not even Israel. Many in Israel, they opposed this step. But he was pleasing the extreme right wing of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu. He is literally fulfilling Benjamin Netanyahu's dream. Netanyahu kept playing with his head that this means America first. And like what Stephen Bannon said, who are you to tell Americans what America first means? And now the US has to pay.
Just then, Iran is now saying that it evacuated all their nuclear sites and removed all their nuclear stockpiles to other locations prior to Donald Trump's strikes on the facilities. Here's the report right here. It says Iran State TV reported that the country had evacuated personnel from the 3 nuclear sites in advance. According to the broadcaster's political deputy, Iran had relocated its nuclear stockpiles from those sites to secure locations. Not only that, but we are now hearing that Iran State TV is warning that every American citizen or military in the region is now a target. Who knows if what Iran is saying is true or not, but it is very difficult to trust what's coming out of the Trump regime. Trump is clearly hoping for this to be the end of this saga, but in many ways...
Up late last night. Well, not too late, but you know, I was trying to get caught up on some things, maybe see some updates or whatever. And one of the updates that I saw was their leader stating, talking to their citizens, keep the same mindset. Don't allow your enemy to think you fear them, because when you allow the enemy to think you fear them, then that's when they got you and they don't let you go. So that's basically telling me and telling everybody, we are who we are. We believe what we believe. And we feel that we have been wronged. And how dare you say we're in peace talks and lie, meaning the U.S. So he was saying last night, the U.S. lied. They pretended to be in peace talks all along. They were conspiring with Israel. And now we're in this situation, and there is no going back. So we need to ask ourselves, how could we be affected here? What are some things that we can do? Because we may not be bombarded by missiles or anything like that, but we can be attacked. The U.S. can be touched. And we will be touched in many different ways, whether it's financial, whether it's with our energy. It could be from anything. And you got to think about the sleeper cells that are already here. Came in through the open borders.
Migrants from China are now the fastest growing group of people entering the United States illegally from Mexico.
China?
Why are we seeing these growing numbers? Here's what we know.
New York?
Customs and Border Protection reported more than 24,000 Chinese migrant encounters at the southern border last fiscal year. In 2021, that number was just 450.
Did you just arrive here in the United States?
The migrants previously told News Nation reporters that they're escaping the Chinese Communist Party. Some fly to Ecuador, where no visa is needed, and then travel north.
Salvador, Panama.
Others are flying into Tijuana Airport before being guided across the border by smugglers. The Chinese migrants are reportedly willing to pay cartels up to $35,000 for smuggling services.
Disappeared, went into their safe houses. All these things I have covered on this channel. Even though it's a homesteading channel, it's a preparedness channel. And I was just telling my husband, because he wasn't up to date on things himself, because he's out driving over the road. And that's another thing. That's another way of them attacking us. Cyber attacks can hit the ports. Everything is so tied in, computerized and whatever. We just had billions of passwords breached just a few days ago or a week ago. We need to be doing things that will help us if civil unrest were to take place. Because as much as the United States, is telling Iran should not have any kind of nuclear weapons or any kind of weapons really, but yet we have them. Other countries are not going to see it that way. You're not going to get to have something and we don't have anything, a way to protect ourselves, no different than your own home. So we need to be getting together the things we need in our home. Like I was saying before I got cut off, my husband, when I was filling him in, I said, we are not as prepared as we were. We fell off because things started getting more expensive, but we need to be stocked up again. You know, we're stocked up on a lot of things, but we need to be stocked up in other areas. We need to increase our water, increase our shelf-stable food, increase our medications, our first aid, all of those areas. We need to get those shelves back full. We need to go through our pantry, and anything that's way over a expiration date that I would feel is not safe has to go, but it has to be replaced as well. So all of these things are on my mind, although I'm not letting them control my mind. But I do know if you control the food, you control the people. You get them to do whatever it is you want them to do or need them to do. So learning how to grow in case, you know, something happens to distribution of food, because you just saw the systems go down with Whole Foods, and I had to turn my ear up, so that's probably what you're hearing. But Whole Foods, if you didn't see my other video, their distribution that they use, that particular company had a cyber attack, and that did not allow Whole Foods to get deliveries in, because the point of sale and the ordering and, you know, the purchasing of things, they could not do that because the systems were down. So the shelves started to look a little bare, similar to what happened over in Europe. It's still happening over in Europe. They're still not 100% back up with their systems, where the shelves were bare because they could not order the food. They didn't know what to order, how much to order, etc. And everything is computerized. You know, they got to put it in. It's not like it was back in the day before these systems, AI and all of that came into play. So we could be attacked on so many different levels. So just having your basic necessities is going to be very important. Getting an understanding of all the things that could collapse around us as a way of retaliation for what we are involving ourselves in right now. Our communication could go down, which means you don't have GPS. You can't just look on your phone and do stuff. The systems are down. So do you have that physical map, and where can you find that physical map? And you can go to truck stops and get them. You can go, I'm pretty sure they have them in the book section at Walmart. We have ours from the truck stop. Of course, my husband is a trucker, but we gonna need to get another one, because I need one for the vehicle, while he already has one for his big rig tractor trailer. So those things have to be taken care of. So start making a list and preparing, you guys, and just stay alert and vigilant, because especially if you're in a crowded situation, that's typically when things pop off. These sleeper cells, we don't know what country would even be involved, because we've made so many enemies out there, and we've isolated ourselves and put ourselves on an island by not supporting so many people, or pulling back from different things like NATO or whatever. And that's another thing. NATO even came out and made a statement as well. It's a lot of people that are not supporting what the United States just did. And then there are a lot of people who are. At the end of the day, we are all going to be on that same ship. Now, if that ship is sinking or if it is moving just fine, I don't know where this is going to go, because this is fresh. So I will try to give you daily updates on it, and not make it a long video, but definitely stressing the points in every video of being prepared, creating that emergency kit, security for your home, because just like we have right now, National Guard on the streets because of these protests due to immigration and all of that stuff. That's basically to test the waters, basically to see how well, or how it's going to go if they ever have to really genuinely put more military on the streets. We know that there are some Marines on the streets for these protests. They want to see how the people react. Is there going to be pushback? Will we have to eventually, if it gets to the point of boots on the ground, because we're not at that point, how people would feel about the draft? Yes, your child, my child, but not their child. Not their child, because the rich always finds, the wealthy always finds a way to get out of serving in the military. But we have to, we're the ones, our children are the ones that go off and sometimes don't come back. So I'm definitely praying for the military, because they have to follow orders. That's just point blank period. No matter who is in charge, they are the military, and they have to follow that order when they get it. So y'all take care, stay safe, get prepped up. I might do a store walkthrough video later. Show you some things if you're new to, you know, getting stocked up that you should be stocking up on, or just ideas, because I can never tell anyone what to stock up on, because what you need for your home may not be what I need for my home. So hit the like, share the video so it get out to more people. Subscribe if you have not. Thank you for supporting the channel. I really do appreciate it.
Is there a button where we could skip to like 2028 or something? Because this is getting out of hand.